Howdy, who all my stock market gamblers? Welcome today. I'm Tall Mike. I'm so glad you're here. Well, hopefully you're out enjoying Labor Day. Stock market's closed today. I get sad when the stock market's closed, but it'll be open tomorrow. Anyway, so we're going to just not go over much on the stock market. All I want to say is that we're in September now, and September is typically the roughest month of the stock market year, right? Typically it goes down. As we mentioned, the last 3 years have been down 10%, 5%, and 10%. I think it's going to be down again this year. Maybe it'll buck the trend and go up, but that's not my take. That's the Moon Boys' take. Moon Boys think we're going to the moon. I don't see it that way. I think we're coming in. All right, let's get over to the real estate market and see what's going on there. Well, what I want to say is that people, well, they're buying homes that they can't afford, right? Anyways, they can't afford these homes that they're buying. They're stretched out. Look at, okay, simple terms. Back in 1975, the average price home was $48,000. $48,000, all right. And roughly the average income was $14,000. $14,000, so a little bit more than 3 times income would pay for the average price home. Well, where are we at today? Well, today we're over, let's just call it 400,000. 400,000 for the average price home, right? And that average income, well, it's under 50. That's called around 40,000. Okay, so it's roughly 10 to 1. We went from 75, 3 to 1. People could afford it, right? People could afford to buy homes back then. Today, people cannot afford to buy homes. We're at 10 times the average income for the average price home. Now, in my area, the home's $2 million, so that you have to make a lot of money to buy a $2 million home. Let me tell you, especially with the new interest rates running about 7.5%. We don't have that 2.8% anymore. They raised the rates up. A lot of people think we're coming back to that 2.8%. Now, I don't really see it that way. I think we're going to see 10% mortgages, and that might be even cheap. We may go higher than that. Nobody knows for sure. That's just my take. You listen to a realtor, buy now, refinance later. Everything's going to come in, right? Well, we'll see. I don't buy that. I don't believe in buying now, hoping and praying that the rates come down so you can refinance. I don't think they're going to come down. I think they're going higher. That's just my take. Now, financing does have a lot to do with the cost of homes, right? So what we've had is we had the homes shoot up like this during the pandemic, right? Up 20%. Many areas up 40 or 50% just in the last 3 years. Well, the rates now have doubled, even more than doubled, went from 2.8, which a lot of people are locked in at, up to 7.5, right? So they've more than doubled, but the price of homes did not come down. Now, typically when you double rates, the price of homes come down. Now, let's say we're at 7.5 and we double to 15%. Do you think the price of homes are going to go up or come down? Well, I think that would definitely push the price of homes down, but that's my point. The price of homes did not really come down when we're up here at 7.5% because the owners, they don't want to sell. They're holding out. They think once the rates come back down that the houses are going to go even farther. These would be the Moon Boys up to the moon, right? They want to get the price Billy Bob got. Everybody wants to get what Billy Bob got because Billy Bob, well, he's kind of a genius, that guy is. But okay, so we got the financing situation. They're trying to fix this problem, right? Because real estate has come to a standstill. We're at a standstill. Things aren't moving, right? Prices haven't come down, but they're not going up either. They're just at a standstill. Real estate's not selling. A lot of real estate agents like myself are not making money because transactions are down about 30% in most areas. Year over year, transactions have fallen off 30%, and that usually precedes the prices falling by about the same 30%. You're going to see prices coming down about 30 to 40% from here. We're already down about 10% in my area, but we have a lot farther to fall. Once again, this is just my take. Your take may be that we're going straight up from here, and that's great. Get out there and buy. Dave Ramsey will tell you, great time to buy. Barbara Cochran, she'll tell you, great time to buy. Your local real estate agent, great time to buy, right? That's what we're trained to say. It's always a great time to buy. When's it a great time to sell? Oh, you don't want to sell? Actually, you do. That's just my take. Again, your take may be completely different, but we got a lot of changes in the financing right now. We have 1% down payments have come back. 1% down payment. Now, not 0%, but you could probably borrow the money to get a 1% down payment. That's what Zillow Loans is pushing. That's what Rocket Mortgage is pushing, 1%. How do they do that? Well, it's an FHA loan, which is 3%, but they're going to pay the 2% for you because they're going to make more than that over the life of the loan. They're going to make their money. They're going to get paid. So they're willing to give you a loan with just 1% down. Isn't that incredible? That sounds like something back in the old days. Okay. They want to extend the length of the loan. Okay. Well, 30 years not long enough, apparently. Maybe we go 40, maybe we go 50. They want to extend the length of the loan. Now, here's what's making a comeback. Adjustable rate mortgages. Okay, ARMs, if you will. Adjustable rate mortgages. Because you see, the rate's up here at 7.5, but they're now offering teaser rates to get you into it. Maybe it's 4%, maybe it's 5% to get you into it, and that payment will last for a year, then it jumps up to the 7.5%. Does this sound familiar at all? Does it sound like we're going back to 2008? Let me tell you a quick story. You got time? It's Labor Day. Why not? All right, so anyways, I had a friend. Her name was Jenny, and Jenny went out and she bought a property, right? Bought a property for $750,000. Now, Jenny didn't have any income. You didn't need income back then. You could just say you were making money. Anyways, long story short, Jenny was a dancer. Let's just call it that. She was a dancer. Okay, so her income was not really a tax verified income. So she had to go get a typical loan that you don't need to qualify for, right? So they gave her a loan. 3%, just like now, 2.8. She had a 3%, but it was a starter rate. It was a starter rate, right? And it was good for 1 year. And in that year's time, the house went from $750,000, jumped up to $1 million. And all of a sudden she had the equity envy. I'm rich. I'm making money. Okay, all right, this is right before 2008 now. They were giving loans to anybody. You could walk in. If you were breathing, you'd get the loan, right? And that's what she did. She got the loan, bought the house, 750, went up really close to $1 million at the top. That's where she could have sold that. But when she went to sell, there was a little bit of problem. Okay, so it was a year later now. She got a 3% starter rate. Well, where do you think that rate went to after the year? Jumped up from 3% to 11%. Her payment, when she looked at that, she couldn't believe it. She says it wasn't explained to her in that way. Okay, well, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I didn't do the loan. I don't know. But okay, so she's now got a problem, right? They jumped the rate up to 11%. But here's also what they did. They told her that if she sold the property now, there's a $50,000 prepayment penalty. So she's now went from 3% to 11%, and if she sells the house, she has to give the lender $50,000. Now, these type of loans are illegal today. You can't have the adjustable rate jump up that high and have a prepayment penalty also. You can have one or the other. So the ones they're given today, your rate's going to jump up, but it's not going to have that prepayment penalty. Always check with the lender, right? The lenders are crooks a lot of times. It's a very, well, I don't say crooks. That might be a little strong. It's a very shady industry, that lending market. But anyways, she had this loan 3%. After a year, it went to 11%. She wanted to sell the property. Property was already starting to come back off that million number. Came back down to 900,000, and she would have to pay 50,000. And she tried to hold on to the property, but she couldn't make the payment. So she puts the property on the market. She's trying to get it sold. Anyways, she couldn't get it sold in time. So the bank foreclosed on her. She couldn't make the payments at 11%. She couldn't make the payments. So she was all excited, kind of like today. Like today, a lot of people are so excited. I'm locked in at 2.8%, and I got $300,000 in equity. And Zillow says I got $400,000. Redfin only says I got $300,000. So we're seeing a lot of this today. But then what happened? She got really sad. She was so happy, $750,000. She had $250,000 if she just sold at the top. Granted, she would have had to pay $50,000 prepayment penalty, but she'd still walk away with around $200,000 right after fees, maybe $150. But that was a lot of money to her. So what happened instead? Well, she lost everything. She lost her down payment, lost her property. It was a very sad situation for her. And then she went from being so happy with that equity envy to being really sad. And we're going to see that a lot today. Everybody's so happy right now with their equity. We're making money. We got equity envy. And I'm locked in at 2.8% on top of it. You wait 1 year from now, people might be really sad out there. That equity envy is going to go away. How much are you underwater? Only 50,000, only 100,000. That's not really envy, but that's what they'll be talking about. But it's okay because I'm locked in at 2.8. I don't mind being down to 100,000. So I lost all my down payment. It's no big deal. I'm locked in. I'm locked in till my 2.8. Isn't that great? My point is that financing has a lot to do with how the prices of homes are doing. And the financing has jumped up and adjustable rate mortgages are coming back. Now, when things start to shift, things start to change. See, we're already locked up here. We're already locked up to a point where there's going to become alternative ways of doing things. Now, one thing that I did when I've done a couple of these over my lifetime, anyways, they're called lease options, right? I'd go out and I'd lease the house because the person couldn't sell it. Now, we're a little bit early. I wouldn't be doing this right now. You can, but I wouldn't be because I think prices are going to come in. Once the prices start to come in, that, $1.5 million becomes $1 million, and the guy still can't sell it because the buyers have left, and he's got a little bit of no more equity envy because his equity got wiped out. But he can't sell the property even at $1 million. Maybe he could get out at 800, maybe 700 because the prices. There's just no buyers. The buyers are going to disappear. They're going to disappear when they get unemployed. They're going to disappear. You see, the sellers are going to want to sell them, but there's going to be no buyers, right? So anyways, a couple times, and I've seen this happen. And what I would do is I'd go out and I'd make them an offer. I go, well, hey, you got this $1 million house. Why don't I rent it from you? Why don't I rent it from you? And I'd try to set up a 5-year rental locked in at the rate. Let's say the going rate, I don't know what, let's say it's $2,500. I'd put a little below market. I'd say, let me rent from you for 5 years. I guarantee you $2,000 a month. And at the end of 5 years, I'll pay you the $1 million. I'll pay you the $1 million that you're asking for. They're asking for $1 million. They can't sell it. They got a job transfer across the country. They got to go. Now they trust me because I'm a reputable person. And when I smile, everybody believes me, right? Well, anyway, so I give them $2,000 for 5 years. And after 5 years, if I want, you see, I don't have to. If the house goes from $1 million back up to $1.5 million, I made $500,000. I write him, the $1 million. I pay him, and then I sell it to someone else for $1.5 million. And actually, how I do those 5-year term, right? 5-year term, and I put a tenant in there, and that tenant pays me maybe $2,200. So I'm making $200 a month, and if the price goes up to $1.5 million, I make $500,000 after the 5-year period. This is called the lease option. Now they're not really that easy to set up. They actually are easier than you think, especially when the market locks up. And wait for it to come down because we're going to come down first. I wouldn't lock it up here. Why lock it up here? And there's no profit to be made because I know the prices are going to be coming down. But once they come down, that's a way to finance a house. You finance it by renting it for 5 years and then locking in the agreed upon price today, hoping that the market rebounds. And it may, who knows, maybe it will, maybe it won't. The other type of financing that I found very, very effective was to find someone who's retiring, wants to take his money and move out of the area, go into an old folks home, wherever they're going. But you find a retired guy and go, hey, look at rates are at 7.5. I can't pay 7.5. I'll pay you 5%, and the guy goes, well, I can only get 5% on my money, Mike. So yeah, I'll do that. I'll make you the loan because I got 100% equity in my house that's paid for, and I need that money coming in for my retirement to pay for the old folks home. So I'll just give you a loan for 5%. It's a below market loan. It's called owner financing. And those are kind of easy to find once again, when these properties are not able to be sold because nobody can afford them, because there's no buyers. And even when we come down 30, 40%, there's going to be a period of time before the buyers show up because the buyers are going to be afraid at that point. Everybody goes, yeah, I'm going to go in and buy when the prices drop. No, you're not. You're going to be afraid. You're going to be afraid they're going to drop lower. Look at when you go in there, these are a couple of ways you can finance the property, and you don't need good credit. You don't need anything. You don't even need money down if you do the lease option. And sometimes you don't need very little down if you find an owner that will finance for you. I'm just pointing these out to you that there's different opportunities that are going to be showing up. Everybody says, but Mike, you're so negative. All you talk about is houses going down. Look, I love real estate. There's ways to make money. The opportunities are coming. All I'm telling you is I think right now is not the time. It's not the time when you got record high prices with interest rates that just doubled and tripled in the past year. You don't want to be out there buying right now. Wait for the market to come in. The buyers aren't coming back. The buyers are getting laid off right now. That's what the seller doesn't understand. Billy Bob understands it. He went and got his equity. He goes, give me that equity. I'm down in the beach in Mexico. Those buyers are going to go away. The market's going to freeze up. Even at the lower rates, people that have to sell will be dropping. Death, divorce, relocations. There's reasons that people have to sell. And when they have to sell, that market's going to come down. Your next door neighbor is going to sell for, well, maybe 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 less than you think your house is worth. Your house is no longer worth that then. That is the new comp, and your house is below that because the market's coming down. It's not going up. And when the market's coming down, it's a death spiral, and the comps keep getting lower, and it's a race to the bottom at that point. Now, Billy Bob, he's that genius. He got out up there. He's down on vacation. Everybody's on vacation today. It's Labor Day, everybody. Get out there, enjoy your day. If you like this stuff, give me the thumbs up. Why not? I'm Tall Mike. Hit that subscribe button. Punch it hard. Get out there, everybody. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye now.